welcome to our program here on African Heritage Television. We do have a very special program for you. We are going to be working today in conjunction with African Teach in a production of the Paper Bird magazine, and I have a special guest who will be helping us do justice to today's program. I do have Miss Karen. I can't introduce you as much as you can, so I will have you introduce yourself.
Well, first of all, Rosemary, it's a pleasure
Thank you.
to have a chance to collaborate with you.
I am honored. Thank you.
I am as well.
Talk to me introduce yourself, because I know a lot of people are watching and they're wondering, okay, what is African Tech in production?
All right, Africa Teaching is a program through PBS, and we talk about African and African American issues. And same thing with the Pepper Bird magazine. We travel around the country and we try to bring information back to the community.
Absolutely, that's good. You know, that's really what we are about. Because when we first started African Heritage Media, what we wanted was a platform where we will be able to tell our own story, as opposed to leaving it to the Western media who just puts out there what they want to put in. So it's nice to be able to collaborate with you, because it seems like we do have the same kind of ideas, and it would be nice to be able to improve our community.
Yes, indeed.
Right. So how has it been?
Well, it's been wonderful. And quite honestly, it's been interesting experience. It's been very helpful to our viewers.
Right.
And the interviews that we do are diverse. It can be a Dominican person, it can be a Liberian person,
right.
It can be African American, it can be another African person, or
right.
it can be a Caribbean person, or it
Absolutely.
can be someone from Europe. It could be a politician. We do a lot of the same things. We just cover different people.
Right. So, having worked in the African community, what has been your experience? I mean, like people that you meet on a daily basis, the issues in the African community. I mean, what has been your experience, and what can you really say about the various issues that you have encountered?
Well, in terms of the African community, I've been a little concerned about specifically the Nigerian community and its ability to thrive because of interventions by fellow Liberians who are stagnating the growth and development of the community. That's been a big issue and a big concern, because I was very active at one point with the Liberian community. We held Christmas parties, we helped with elderly programming and dinners and trips to the museums and libraries, and it was a very different, very active community, and things became stagnant. So I pray that.
And do you know for sure why things became stagnant? I mean, what do you think is the problem, though?
Well, the problem, it's unfortunate, but it seems to be, the problem seems to be an individual who wants to impede progress. That's as simple as that.
Unfortunately, that's very common in our community. We used to have that in the African community, the Nigerian community as well, but I think that so far, the Nigerian community have really organized themselves a lot better than it used to be. So now we're able to speak in one voice, get together, and they have leaders in the community that are doing fabulous job. As a matter of fact, they just had their elections, and they had an inauguration yesterday, and we're going to be talking to some of those leaders.
So just let me rewind for a minute. How did you, what steps did you take in order to pull the people together?
It's just talking about it and realizing that this is way bigger than one person. It's not about one individual. It's about, being able to speak in one voice, being able to be your brother's keeper. We are living million miles away from home. Come on, I mean, if we can get together and get it right, then we will be able to go back home and replicate some of the stuff that we learned here.
Right.
And make our country better. Because every day you hear about corruption in Africa and all of that. And one of the things that I say to people is, we're going to get there, but it's a slow process. The world has now become a global village. Yeah. So I cannot just come and tell you anything. You can get on the internet and find out for yourself what's going on. So we've been able to pull together and educate ourselves about the importance of speaking in one voice, of supporting one another. Yeah. That's the only way. One of the things that we have to understand is in this country, strength is all, there's strength in numbers. Yeah. You walk into a governor's office or a mayor's office and you want information, they want to see how many of you are in this organization. They want to know how effective you are in the community. Right. They want to know if you vote or if you support a voter and all of that stuff. Yeah. So if we don't organize ourselves properly, then we can't really do anything. Right. So it's important for us to get together, not only as as Nigerians, but Africans. Yes. In general, whether you're a Ghanaian, you're a Cameroonian, Sierra Leonean, we can all get together and organize ourselves in a way where we can pull fast.
Which is key.
It is.
But now, since you are intending, I understand, to go back to Nigeria.
Yes, I'm getting ready to go back to Nigeria.
Please share with our viewers some of the hot issues.
Oh gosh, we've been, there's a lot of issues. Unfortunately, some of the issues that we are dealing with in Nigeria right now are issues that have been there for years. It just really seems like things are not really getting better. As a matter of fact, some people will say that things are really deteriorating in terms of unemployment, in terms of epileptic power supply, in terms of our roads. People are dying on using the roads because the roads are so bad, And those are some of the issues that comes up all the time. And quite frankly, when I talk to people on the streets, one of the things they're concerned about is electricity. Is the only word, it's like everybody you talk, if we can just have electricity, we will be fine. Because without the electricity, they're losing their jobs. Most of the companies are moving to Ghana. So they're losing jobs.
But the country would lose also the benefits of these companies being in Nigeria.
Absolutely.
So there's a big loss here.
Not only that, and we also lose human resources because most of the best brains are living outside Nigeria because they can deal with the lack of security. They can deal with the fact that they're not able to go ahead with their businesses because you have to pay for diesel and buy. It's just a whole lot of stuff going on back home, unfortunately. So those are some of the stuff that keeps coming up all the time.
Right.
Yeah. So the issue now is what can we do
Yeah.
to change that?
Yes.
And my organization has done a whole lot. We've had the opportunity of speaking with some governors, ministers, to sit down and have a communication on how things can get better.
Right.
And we can only do the best that we can, and we're trying. So what we're going to do as the show progresses, we're going to bring in leaders from our community. Okay. Because we do have leaders from the Nigerian community of Rhode Island. Oh. They'll probably be able to answer that question more than I can.
Yes.
So that's what, we're going to keep it that way and have them come in and we can talk to them and they will be able to give us more insight as to the issues that are going on in our community as well as the Nigerian community and what we can do to make a difference.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So we're going to take a break and we'll be right back. Welcome back to our program with Africa Teaching and African Heritage. We're here to interview some members of the Nigerian community. With that, Rosemary?
Yes, ma'am. Like rightly said, we're here to talk to leaders from the Nigerian community. They're coming to us today from the Nigerian community of Rhode Island. To my right is Mr. Deen, ibiyemi, Miss Onye, and I do have Raphael, Okelola, and of course Mr. Afeez, Olalekan, who will be talking to us today about our community. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
I hear you just got, you did the inauguration took place yesterday?
Yes.
After the
yes, it was a fantastic program we had yesterday of the inauguration at the state office, the governor's room of Rhode Island.
Excellent.
We were witnessed by a lot of people from Nigeria, and we had some senators and some representatives from the state of Rhode Island to witness the occasion.
That's very good. And you, what is your position?
I am the new president.
The new president.
I'm the new servant of the people.
That's
so
good.
That's what I look at it.
Yes.
And Mr. Nkolika, that's the first vice president. That's our second vice president.
Okay.
And this is our public relations officer.
It's nice to have you on.
Thank you.
So where are we going with this?
It's up to you. We have a lot of challenges ahead of us, and we hope we'll be able to make a difference. The Nigerian community of Rhode Island has come a long way from the 15 period that it's been over like that, and the gentle lady and the gentleman you see here, they've been working, everyone has been working towards the upliftment of the community. So what we're doing is to pick it from that and do our own to contribute to the development of the organization so that the future generations will be able to pick it from that. We have very ambitious goals and objectives, and we are hoping and praying that with the support of everybody we'll be able to get that.
And could you share with our viewers what those goals and objectives are?
Okay, you see, the Nigerian community boasts of about 6,000 members in the state of Rhode Island. That's a large population, and we think that we have a lot of things we can do to the development of our community for our youth, our children, who we are looking to lead these things for. And we have a lot of things that happen and that is to the benefit of the members. For instance, every member of the organization should be proud of being a member in terms of what we put on the table for them. Things like having some recreational facilities, things like coming to their aid when they're in terms of need, things like having some programs that will be generating funds and towards the upliftment of the organization. Those are the things part of the things we're thinking that our administration will be able to achieve, so that we'll be able to without funding, you won't be able to do a lot of things. But we have programs in the community. We live as one, because whatever affects one affects all of us. So we should be able to come to the need of our members whenever they knock on our doors.
Right.
And services we do render for them, we should continue to do those services.
Very well. I would like to ask Ms. Nkoli. Did I get it right? Nkoli Onye, right? Okay, thank you very much. How do you raise funds to to be able to carry out some of the objectives that he's talking about? How does the organization raise funds? Where do you get funding from? Because he said something to the effect that without funding, it's difficult to carry out some of the objectives. How does the Nigerian community of Rhode Island raise funds for the organization?
Well, there are certain events, annual events that the Nigerian community of Rhode Island has continued to present each year. One of them is the summer youth programs that they have in place. There's an immigration program whereby they offer opportunities for Nigerians to receive their passports, and at a very, very, very decreased cost. And Nigerians don't have to travel; the consulate comes here, and that's an opportunity for revenue. We're actually looking. One of the things that we want to do is the past administrations have done a tremendous job in really making this organization a relevant organization in the community. And I think our job is to Our job is to continue that work by really finding opportunities or looking for opportunities to really engage the community. As the President has said, there are 6,000 Nigerians in the community. We do not have 6,000 Nigerians on our register. So one of the things is to really reach out and to really try to increase the number of members for the Nigerian community of Rhode Island. And one of those ways is to make sure that we're offering supports that they're interested in. So really focusing on education, focusing on immigration, focusing on employment, and also focusing on presenting some events that offer Nigerians an opportunity to come together and have fun and enjoy through either cultural balls or picnics or some other types of events that allow interaction and community engagement. And also a focus on youth. One way to really engage parents is to make sure that we have more presentations and more offerings that would really entice youth to participate in the program. So we're really hoping to work with the Nigerian Frontier and other youth organizations to really bring the youth in, fold them into the program by offering different opportunities that will hopefully entice them to get involved as well. So I think the best way to really increase our funds, number one, is to increase the number of members in our community and also reach out to our representatives in our Senate as well and share with them what our goals are and the need for these opportunities in the community, and hopefully they'll be able to support us through grants and other types of federal funding that are available to organizations such as ours.
So if a viewer wants to get in touch with you and wants to become a member, how would they get in touch with you?
The Nigerian Community of Rhode Island has an office at 600 Broad Street at the Oasis building. Currently, that's where we have our office. We have our website, the ncri.prof.org, and we can be visited on the website, and we're working to make sure that we bring it up fast so that we have programs like PayPal to be able to get funds and look at our programs that we have there. But we have office at 600 Broad Street, Providence, Rhode Island 02907, and we can. The phone number that we use now is 401-699-3790. That's actually the president's number, which we are hoping to improve and have more numbers so that anybody can get in touch with us. We have powerful email system that has been developed by the previous administrations, and every member of the community gets to know what we are doing, and we're soliciting for the support in making it happen.
Absolutely. Thank you. My question for Mr. Raphael Okelola. You were part of the former administration.
Yes.
Now talk to me, if you will, about the challenges that you face as a member of the Nigerian community of Rhode Island. I mean, in trying to bring people in or talk or educate people about the issues that are going on in our community. What are the challenges?
I think when I became a part of the nation about 10 years ago, and what we found out was there was so much polarization. The youth wants to be on one side, the adults want to be on one side, and you have the younger adult that wants to be on one side. And we started, when we had the initial board, we started on the side, okay, how do we bring all these groups together? And we kind of found out that each of this group has a certain person that they speak to, that they relate to. Mm-hmm. So what we did was, like, we went to those individuals and said, you know what, why don't you be the head of this group? Mm-hmm. And you be the head of this group, and be the head of this group.
Right. And
once we were able to get those groups to come to have their heads, we're able to bring everybody, just bring their leaders together and say, okay, you know what, now you are the leaders, we'll talk to you, you go back and talk to them. Mm-hmm. And that seems to have worked for us, and we're able to build on it. And in the past, it was difficult to get Nigerians together. But once we had all those groups come together and begin to talk, it was easy to disseminate information. It was easy to get everybody around. So there was no information that was lost. The youth were able to bring their ideas. Mm-hmm. The adults were able to bring their ideas. The youth were able to bring their ideas in. So we're able to build on that. And I think our first election was about 10 years ago, and it was surprising that people actually came out and vote. And we started building that, and actually, I think this last election in December actually was the biggest turnout. It was amazing that we kind of actually saw Nigerians now showing interest in their community, and they wanted to know who's gonna lead them. It's not gonna. They don't want to sit back they don't want to take the back seat anymore.
Yeah.
They want to be part of the organization, because when I think one thing we've learned within African communities, like once things begin to go effectively, people begin to fall in place, begin to follow. And I think that's what we've done in the Nigerian community so very well in the last 10 years. We've been able to bring everybody in. And people say, oh, Nigerian community is getting better now. It took a lot of work to get there.
Right.
And it took a lot of effort for both the youth, the adults, the young adults to come to this level.
Wow, that's well said. Now, there are so many issues that are going on in Nigeria. And I remember that last year, sometimes last year, we had that program where I think it was called something about light. Lady of the Light. That's the Lady of the Light. What is the opposition doing to have a follow-up to that event? Because people looking at it from
why don't we try to define what that program?
Oh, he'll talk to us about what the program. I think it was a program that was initiated to kind of work on the electric power supply, talk to the people that need to kind of utilize in Nigeria particularly.
Okay.
What is the organization doing to follow? Because there are some people who felt like, they had that match and all of that, and nothing concrete happened. Okay. So what is the organization now doing to kind of follow up on that and be able to make it happen?
Okay. Proudly, we have Mr. Raphael Okelola, who is here, and like you said, he's been very, very active in the community regarding that. He has made a lot of inroads or initiatives on that. I'm going to let him speak about that, but a general description of Let There Be Light is that we know in Nigeria, one of the problems, one of the challenges we have is lack of infrastructure. Nigeria is a blessed country. We have like 8 out of 10 adults are graduates.
Right.
But the problem is the continuity of that situation that gives them the peace of mind like we have in a Western world like America, where we don't have any issue with bad roads or electricity and everything. And the Nigerians in diaspora, that is those who are outside Nigeria, they feel that, something we need to give back to this community that we call ours, our fatherland. So like I said, the reason why I'm just advancing to Mr. Raphael Okelola is that he actually had to travel
to Nigeria.
So I think I'm going to give it to him to.
Tell us.
The Let There Be Light initiative actually was brought about by Mr. Olalekan, the son of the former king of Owo, one of the cities on those days. And I think when he came to us, he said he was looking at the news, and the Nigerian government was saying they were going to be putting together a nuclear plant. And he got concerned that a country that cannot manage a simple turbine, how can you manage a nuclear plant? And he felt that it's going to be like a fraud. That they're just going to use the opportunity to just squander funds and embezzle funds. So he came to us and said, you know what? I think this time we'll let the Nigerian government realize that we as citizens know what the problems are, and we need them to come out and do something. And that was how the Let There Be Light initially came about. And to your question, we actually, when we went to Nigeria to do the parade, it was something that we thought after the first parade we build on it and have every other state, every other countries begin to build on it. When we got to Nigeria, we kind of find that after we did the parade that some states actually already have those initiatives to begin to build their own power plant. For example, Lagos State has the initiative to have start, but they do have some challenges. They do have restrictions from the federal government and saying, well, you can't do that. The federal government owns this power plant. We're going to privatize those power plants. So that's the restrictions that most of those states had. And we used to be able to speak to some of the governors, like governor from those states and the cabinet on those states, Lagos State, and they did share our concern. Most of them did share our concern, and they knew exactly what we're trying to do. But they also have that restriction, something that's holding them back from doing it. And the federal government did promise. I Actually, I think the president promised that by the end of last year, we're going to have at least about 18 to 20 hours of electricity, and we're still personally, I won't be to Nigeria in the last few months, so I'm not so sure. But people that I've spoken to in Nigeria have said they begin to see some improvements. In for example, people in Lagos, they said they've been getting about 8 hours. There's some people in Bayelsa, they said they've been getting about 20 hours. So and I think there's been a little bit of improvement, and I think that the challenge is now building on those improvements, and people should not keep quiet about it. And because we Africans, we have this belief that if it doesn't concern me, if I'm not there, there's no need for me to get involved. And I think that is one thing that we also need to put behind and say, you know what, whether I'm there or not, we also need to get involved. And I think for us when we went there, they were surprised that people in the diaspora actually came. They always see us as, when they call us, we don't answer. We just stay back and we say, okay, we are not part of Nigeria. But us going back there and them seeing us, kind of like challenging one of them, and they said, oh wow, for the first time you guys actually had this initiative from overseas and you came home knowing that you could get killed, you could get lynched, and and they were surprised. And we had a lot of lawyers actually came out with us, and they actually put a lot of their funding, a lot of their own money into the event. I think the biggest concern to us was that the media did not show their support.
The media?
The Nigerian media did not show their support at all.
In Nigeria?
Yes, they did not show their support. I think that was the only thing that we got really, that was really discouraged.
Well, next time you have that kind of program, you let us know and we'll take our media from here to Africa. How about that? Right, we can do that.
Another challenge, Rosemary, is that one of the things that actually discouraged the organizers was because, we have this kind of political situation in Nigeria that they believe that somebody is actually sponsoring. They did not look at it that, okay, this is something that nobody's getting paid for.
Right.
He traveled with other people out of their own money, sponsored himself, get over there, try to do this message. They now thought that, maybe, somebody's behind them, financing them just to cause trouble in the country. So the perception that is there is discouraging. Because it's now like labeled as seeing that, it's an opponent that is trying to make this move, not knowing that these are genuine individuals with genuine intention to make genuine changes in the country. So until we all realize that, we're not going to get discouraged. The administration is going to build up from what has been done. And like you said, we need your help in trying to make these publications and make it public. And when we knock on your doors, we hope you'll be there.
Absolutely. We are always ready. We are available, and we will continue to make ourselves available to help put the word out there. And Mr. Afeez Olalekan, I don't want you to feel left out. I know that you are from the Public Relations Department, right?
Right.
Okay. So you can jump in, or if you have something you want to add to it, you can always do that. I don't want everybody to feel like, I have to call on you before you speak. We actually just rubbing minds and talking about our community. Right. So what do you bring to the table from your department? Yes.
I think they already said, like almost everything, but because I'm actually assistant public relations, so it's more that I need to put the word out there. So we all plan together, but it's my job to help and let people know, like, we're here and we need more people. Like they say they're like 6,000. Me and the person above me, we need to pull something together so they can know, like, we need to put something together so we can reach out to the people that we're here, and if they need anything, that we can help them out. So I guess that would be my part of that's my job to do. So yeah, and I'm ready to do it to help.
That's very good. That's very good. And like I said before, our doors are always open. If you need for us to put something out there for you, you can always reach out to us. We are always we do have a radio program that comes up every Friday put down my radio program. Isn't that crazy? On Woonsocket, WNRI 1380 in Woonsocket, and it comes on Fridays from 11 to 1 o'clock. It used to be from 12 to 2, but it's now 11 to 1 o'clock every Friday. And of course, we have the newsprint, and we will also have the slot for the television. So it's important that we get the information so we can put it out there. Because you guys are doing a fabulous job in the community, and it will be unfair as a media group not to be a part of it. Because, like I was talking to Ms. Karen earlier, the reason we started African Heritage in the first place is to have a platform where we can tell our own story. Because if we don't put the story out there, most of the stories that they tell about Africa are being told by people who've never been to Africa, who don't even know much about Africa. So they just put out there whatever they want to put out there. So it's important that they hear from their horse's mouth. And again, thank you for all that you guys do in the community. I don't know if Ms. Karen has a question.
Oh yeah, let me add to what she said. Definitely, I'll get your contact and I'll be at the door, office every day. Now that I know that you can do that for us. So,
absolutely.
I'm really glad that you offer the assistance. And
we have worked with the former administration, and I think Mr. Raphael can attest to that. We've attended a lot of your programs. I've even had the opportunity to interview, give her Ms. Nkolika a brief interview during the 50th, was it Nigerian independence, the 50th or 51? I'm not sure which one. It was 50, the 50th.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago.
Yeah, remember at the Marriott?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we've always tried to be a part of whatever is happening in the Nigerian community, because again, if we don't do it, nobody's going to do it for us.
I think one of the messages that has come up that I think people don't think about is that one of the great things about this organization is the whole social justice piece.
Right.
So it's not just an opportunity for us to support Nigerians in the community, it's also an opportunity for people to galvanize around the issues affecting Nigeria, which affect us.
Absolutely.
Because every single Nigerian in the United States is taking care of someone
back
or some
home.
group of people or some village or some citizens back home. And so the better we can make things for our own brothers and sisters back home, the better things will be for us. And also, most Nigerians are here because of an education.
Right.
And they contribute quite a bit to their community here in the United States.
Right.
But many Nigerians, including myself, also want to support the work that's happening back home. So things like infrastructure, we're lasting because it is an improvement if you have 8 hours or 20 hours.
It is.
But is that acceptable?
Is that acceptable? Yeah, right.
And so I think that one of the...
that makes sense for the people.
Absolutely. So,
and I guess industry will be pulling out. If they don't
absolutely.
step up
Absolutely.
and make sure that there's electricity.
Absolutely. People don't want to invest in a country where their, transportation is iffy or electricity is power, transportation, etc., and also security. So, and I think that as we talk to young people in this country who are born in this country, they do care about what's happening.
They do.
And they want to help.
Yeah.
So I think that this organization is a vehicle really and I think that'll be one of the places we'll be able to really galvanize youth in the whole idea of social advocacy and social justice. And I think that's why this took off. That the Let There Be Light really took off. There was a lot of interest because people really felt passionate about that. Even if they've never seen Nigeria before, they know that they're Nigerians, and the idea of not having electricity, water, basic amenities that we're all afforded as citizens of this earth is a problem. So I'm proud to be part of an organization that cares about those issues as well. So I just think that's a good thing. And we will definitely be knocking on your door.
Oh, yeah. You're welcome to do that. Do we have any program right now?
I think one thing I like to highlight is the individual that actually initiated the Let There Be Light actually moved to Nigeria now. Actually doing a lot of advocacy in terms of light now. Actually,
that's
interesting. So there's been a lot of things, a lot of good things that came out of the night.
That's very good. I'm going to be in Nigeria in a week or two, less than 2 weeks. So when I come back, I'll be able to say for sure that I know that we're getting 8 hours of electricity. Because I remember the last time I was in Nigeria in April of last year, and gosh, it was crazy. I mean, you have 15 minutes of light, and then it's gone for the next 4 hours, and you have another 30 minutes. It was you constantly have to buy diesel for the generator.
How does industry deal with that? Do they have their own generators?
Yeah. One of the things that actually...
But their people have light at work, and then it's time to go home.
Yeah.
Then, yeah.
Many people rely on the generators to be able to power up. And actually, one of the things that it's not confirmed is that even this industry that actually manufactures generators, they don't want that to be light. So
When we're talking about that
will spoil
earlier,
the business
yeah,
for them.
right, right.
They don't want that to happen, so they do everything to jeopardize the. But that's not. These are few. These are few people. They can't surpass the power of the majority. So if everybody is talking about it, acting about it the way we're doing here, other people are doing from other people, and even people in Nigeria themselves, it will definitely suppress whatever is the power of the few, and they will know that these people are talking. And just an addendum to what Ms. Rosemary was going to ask about what are we doing now, what do we have as program now. We belong also to a community that is called African Advocacy Group. And that comprises of Nigerians, Liberians, Ghanaians, Gambians, and we've been doing some meetings. And one of the things that's our challenge is that, in the state of Rhode Island, I know Nigerians and Africans have been they're part of minorities, but they are powerful minorities here. We want to be able to have the same voice, the same opportunities that the Latinos have, the Italians have. It might be too ambitious, but it's not impossible for us to do.
Right.
So what we're standing right now is okay, why don't we work towards doing some political advocacy, trying to get ourselves, how do we sponsor our own candidates? Somebody made an analysis the other day that in the city of Nkolika, for instance, there are about 4,000 African Americans in there. In the school district, the election, when they had the election, and the highest number of the one who won the most popular vote had only 780 something votes. So imagine if just 10% or 20% of all Africans participate in democracy in doing that. Do you know, they will boast of many people representing their own constituency, and you can't just have any influence in decision making or in changing things if you're not part of it.
If you're not part of it.
So we need to make that move, and we have our young adults, our children who are well-to-do. They are engineers, they're doctors. They are doing good, and all we need to do is to support them. That's what the African initiative is all about. That how do we pull ourselves together? Okay, if we can do something as Nigerians, can we do it as Africans?
Yeah.
So you will see that in by the time we bring all those things in the table, we're heading that. We have ambitious goals, and we surely will get there.
I know, slowly but surely. I know you guys will get there. And you know what? Just to add to what you just said about having somebody in government, some of the people who represent us, some of the Latinos who represent us, you can't even communicate with. And I know that we have brilliant Nigerians, Ghanaians, Liberians in our community that will be able to do even better job.
Yeah.
So it's important that I'm excited that you had that program, and I hope that we get together and support one another, because that's another problem in our community. We are not very good at supporting one another. There's always something, why does it have to be this person? Why is it not so and so? So we hope that, by the grace of God, that we're able to pull together and make this happen.
Well,
that would be very nice for our community.
Yes, that would be another nice collaborative effort between African Heritage and African Teaching.
Absolutely.
To have a conversation with that group.
Right. And we can pull
establish there.
And whatever you think that we can do to help in that area, we, again, like I said before, we'll be more than happy to help with that, to be able to gather ourselves together and pull this off. Because again, it will be very big for our community. And we have some of the best brains out of Africa that we're pretty much, like I said to people, we're hiding ourselves in America. And it's time for us to come out and do something.
Sure, we get that.
I think I have a regular saying that says that Africans are the most educated group in this country and what it is.
Right.
And when I said that, one of the people said, what do you mean? I said, if you pick up any state and look at the universities, look at the top strengths of students in the university during their graduation, you find out that Africans are always in the top strengths of every school, of every class. And you just don't get to the top of a class if you're not brilliant.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
you're not smart.
Right. You know, I was telling this story. I was talking to a friend of mine, and I said, my friend in Houston, Texas, had brought her mom for holidays. So because the woman didn't want to be home alone, they decided to start a store for her to go and come back home and all of that. So one day she was driving and she got pulled up by the cop. So she wanted to put a fast one on the cop, and she just started to talk in Yoruba. And the cop said to her, "Look here, woman, every Nigerian speak English. Don't play with me. I know you understand me. Every Nigerian speak English. The average Nigerian have a first degree. So don't pretend like
You know,
so I mean, for a white cop to say that, so you know that so it's crazy.
You know, here's another point I'd like to
Yeah.
pull some thoughts from this panel. You have this diverse group of folks who are working for political enrichment.
right.
And have you given any thought to what that group could do as a collective for Nigeria, for Liberia, for Gambia, and so on?
Yeah,
and Ghana?
what we are doing right now is like it's in the teaching stage. We've been having meetings. As a matter of fact, on the 12th we're having another meeting. What we want to put together is what should be our goals, what should be our vision, what should be our mission. Then after we're able to put through that, we're gonna have like maybe like protein officers. And we're gonna like based on our vision, because you cannot just be acting without having a goal ahead of you.
Sure.
We're trying to put together all this so that we can move from there and say, okay, how are we going to target this? How are we going to make out? We have the areas of the mayor and the governor. They're willing to work with us. It is for us to be able to put ourselves together. So if we're able to put ourselves together and say, okay, this is what we want, we have the political mind, because politicians, they love numbers.
They do.
So if they see that, okay, we can guarantee them, okay, this is what we have. This is what we're trying to do from, and this is speaking in terms of the African community, not just like, okay, Nigeria, whatever. We don't, we're having a common goal that we're pursuing, and with unity, because it is very important. It's like, okay, if all of us are, objective and serious-minded, what we need to do after this movement is to present ourselves. We'll be asking our members who is interested in seeking any political office, how can we help, especially our youth. If a 23-year-old can be a mayor, or
right.
a 32-year-old can be a member of the House, or be a senator, if like that. When I was googling some information about how many mayors we have in the United States, and it was so interesting. Somebody asked me that question. Actually, my daughter asked me that question. How many mayors do we have in the whole United States? I said, oh my God, I don't know that. So I said, okay, you know what? Let's do this research together. We'll find out that, okay, there are 19,000. And what's interesting is that out of these 19,000, there are a lot of women who, even the important cities in America, they are mayors. So, and I looked at the mayor of Baltimore in Maryland. She's a woman, 42 years old. And I think based on that name, she had Rawlings as her last name, which means that maybe she'll have some Ghanaian roots or something like that. And I was so impressed. And I thought, okay, if they can do it, how did they make it happen? It's not just like they wake up overnight and say, oh, I'm going to be a mayor. It's something that has been in process. If you belong, we are not going to say, okay, let's go and shoot for governor of Rhode Island. That's going to be like dream.
We'll start from somewhere.
But let's start from the school district. Let's start from our community. Let's start from, like that. We need to build ourselves. And we have people like Nkolika. You remember that the man was saying that he's one of the big and very humble. But she's that, and like that, and she's willing to. She's been doing her best to help. These are people we need, and all of us that we try our best to help our community that we belong. So if we have people like that, why don't we use them? Why don't we tap from their experience and make it happen? And surely, if we're organized, we can do a lot of things.
And just to speak to that point, I think the mayor of Providence has been putting a lot of initiative to bring things like that to the table. Like that. I think recently, I think this last year, we formed the African Working Group, just to tackle the migrant African issue. Because one of his concerns is the fact that if you don't hear about it, you can't solve the problem.
That's true.
And he wants to be able to hear about the problem, and we also be able to find a way to pass information to those groups. And it's had some of us as part of the team to be able to at least get information to him and get information back to the group. And I think that's another way we at least we've been working with the administration, and just at least let them understand that Africans are here, and we are here to stay. We are not going anywhere. What's your saying?
We don't care.
We keep saying we're going home. We're going home. We've had our kids here.
Yeah, we might as well get involved.
Get involved in the political process.
You know, we had a program we called the Meet the Africans that we started a couple of years ago. What the program was about is to be able to bring in politicians like mayors, and we had the mayor of Pawtucket and the mayor of Providence come in with their folks from their administration to come and talk to the African community, and that was around the election period. Because one of the things that we discussed with them is the fact that a lot of times if you have a job opening in their departments, we don't hear about it because they're being printed in their mainstream magazines as well as the Latino magazines. So we spoke to them about it, and like you rightly said, it's a walk. You guys never reached out to us. We don't know whom to talk to. We don't know how organized you guys are. But if you can organize yourselves and you let us know what your concerns are, we know that there are Africans in our community. But you want to come as, oh, we're Ghanaians, and these other group comes and we are Cameroonians, so that's too much. You know, so, but if we can organize ourselves and so we are coming as Africans, and this is what we want done, and this is where we want to get involved, and that would be nice. And you know, they even spoke to us and they said, you know what, when we do have another, any opening, we will let African Heritage know, and we can put it in our magazines so that our people, because we have qualified people who can do this job as well, but we just don't know about them. Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for coming to our program today. Is there anything else you want to add to? Anybody want some closing remarks?
I just want to make a plea I just want to make a plea to any of the Nigerians out there who are watching this, even if they're watching this from Nigeria itself or any of the African countries, to really, if you have relatives or family or friends living in Rhode Island or Providence, but Rhode Island in general, and they're not part of this organization, to let them know that what you saw tonight, and have them reach out to any of us so that they can become part of this organization. It's really important to be part of something. You can't work on something or solve problems unless you're part of a working group, and we really want to make a plea out to everyone to become a part of this organization, to step up and to show us that you're there and that we need your help. So that would be my part.
Mr. President, is there anything that you want to, what did you expect from the community?
Yeah, just like Ms. Nkolika said, I just have to thank you very much for bringing us here. You know, this is a very interesting program that we've been through, and we will pledge our support to African Heritage to, in whatever way that we can be of help. And thank you very much also from the
Paper magazine.
This is interesting. I'm really, really glad. Just like Ms. Nkolika said, this is who we are. This is what we are asking. When I was making the acceptance speech yesterday, I said the road is rough. The resources are limited, and sometimes it's not even available. The challenges we have are many, but with the support of everybody, yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
So we are asking and employing every well-meaning, and we're not limiting ourselves to Africa, Nigerians in Rhode Island alone. We're reaching out, and this African advocacy too. We're going to be reaching out to all the members from Ghana, from Liberia, we want to come together. That is the goal, and we will get there. Thank you.
Yeah. Mr. Raphael?
I think everybody kind of said most of the stuff I said, and me for me personally, I want people to understand that there's strength in numbers. And without that number, without us coming together, we can. I always believe that if we come together, we can move the mountain.
Yes, there you go.
And that strength is what we need. We need everybody's power. We need everybody's strength to come together. I have a friend that always say, I don't need you 100%. If I could get 5% from you, 5% from you, and I have a lot of 5%. I can do a lot with that. And I think all we're asking the Nigerian community to do is just give us your 5%. Give us your 5%. We can't leave if we don't have people to support us. And I hope everyone of us, everybody out there, and Nigerian within this community can come out and talk to us. We will listen, and we promise, and we'll get back to you with all, not with all the answers, but with the answers that if we can.
All right. I think I'll just reach out to young adults like me, basically, because I think there's a lot of us out there, we think that there's no chance for us to be part of this. But I think, everybody have a voice, and I think me as a person being part of this, I think everybody else can do it, can be part of it too. So, and it's not a limit. Like, you might not be part of the, you might not be part of the meeting that we're doing and stuff, but you can, if you have any ideas, you can reach out to us, and so we can include it in what we're doing. So I think everybody, especially my age, I'm 26 and down, and I think we should be part of this. And yeah, I'm just extending my hand to everybody out there that's looking at this and be part of this.
Right. And I want to say something real quick. When she mentioned your age, you can organize fun activities that will make people of that age group want to be a part of it. Because a lot of times they don't want to join because they're looking at it like, how many be doing in their list?
Exactly.
So
Actually,
so you can have.
What a lot of people don't know, actually, Mr. Afeez is actually the vice president of the Nigerian community of Nigerian Country of America, which is actually one of the youth of the Nigerian community. So it's like I said, I started when I was in my 20s. I was part of the when I was in my 20s. I'm now in my 40s. And you can do a lot.
I think we need to give our youth credit too, because I think that it's beyond. I think that our young adults are not just interested in fun events. I think they're also interested in things that they're passionate about. So a lot of that social justice, those social justice things that we're going to be bringing to the table, the leadership group that we're both part of, all of us are part of. I think that that's really good. If we can get the word out about some of the causes that we're supporting, I think that we're going to really be able to get a lot of young people interested. Because a lot of them, like the ones I see all the time, they're very interested about what's happening.
Right.
And they want to do something about it.
They're able to.
They're able to.
And we're willing to, put them in front of
the camera.
cameras to share that information in our written material.
Right.
Yeah, and she's definitely right, but they just don't know how to get involved.
Exactly.
Like they want to be part of it. Like, I don't know how to get involved. Somebody just told me about the Nigerian frontier, and I was like, I'll just check it out. But if they're looking at this, reach out to anybody on this planet that you know, or you can go to the Nigerian community
website
ncri.org.com. So you can check it out, and we have the contact, anybody that you can contact on that. The email, you can send the email, you can call the numbers, the telephone number, and we can give you more information on how to get involved in the community.
Great. Thank you so much.
Well, we want to thank you all for coming out, for taking the time to sit with us today. We don't take that for granted. Thank you very much. And Ms. Karen?
And thank you for co-hosting with me.
Thank you.
And thank this panel. And we're looking forward to hearing more about what you're doing. And as well as our viewers. Thank you for taking this time with us.
Thank you.
Many things